All right, welcome back to the second period intermission. Pleased to have guesting with us at this time, former UPEI Panther from Squid, I'm going to say 72 to 75. Would I be right in that?
Yeah, you're in that area.
All right, Jamie Macleod, Squid, we call him here in the island. So, Jamie, thanks for coming on.
My pleasure.
Jamie, we have a big night here tonight, of course, with the recognition of Billy McMillan, former St. Dunstan's great, former NHLer, NHL executive, coach, an all-around great guy, former UPEI Panther coach, and actually won our last title, coached our last title here at UPEI. So maybe, Jamie, if you could talk a little bit about, you had a big role to play in bringing this night together and the recognition for Billy. I know Ron and the athletic department, but maybe can you talk about how that did come about and why Billy, why now?
Well, I guess it goes back, first of all, for my generation, and your brothers would be part of it for sure. Billy was an idol of ours growing up. There's no question about it. Didn't get to see him play, but we knew he went away to Toronto to play junior. Had a chance to sign with the Toronto Maple Leafs, who were, believe it or not, were Stanley Cup champions in the 60s. And that's in the 6-team league. So you know how good you had to be to play there. And Billy turned them down. And the word came that he was going to come back home and play university hockey. And it wasn't just the SDU campus that was so excited. It was all across the island. Billy was coming home. I've met so much, and everybody was looking forward to a championship, which Billy did eventually lead them to. And over those 2 years, Norm, the numbers that he put up were just simply staggering.
Give an indication of that.
Well, he averaged scoring, Norm, 2.1 goals per game. That's not points, but goals.
Yeah.
3.5 points.
7-point game, I think.
Yeah, and then you beat it, Norm.
Yeah, thanks for that plug.
Hey, Bex could always score. He set 5 scoring records when he was in the league. Nobody's ever set 5 scoring records.
Yeah.
Most goals, most points in the season, most goals in a game, which is still a Panther record with 6. Fastest hat trick, which is still a league record. And say the points record, which is in UP. So and it wasn't just the offense, Norm. Billy loved the physical game. And he was renowned for that later on, playing with in the pros. But in the University League, he was a powerful, powerful checker. Open up body ice, along the boards. And Billy thrived in that. And that was probably from his rugby days. He was quite a rugby player, so I've been told. That's before my time. And
rugby was big at that time.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
And from there, as I say, time went on, and Billy coached the Panthers to win a league title. Last one, as you say, that the Panthers ever won. And I go at all the Panther games, and I'm looking at the wall up there of all the great players, and they were great players, no question about it. And I'm just thinking to myself, there's something missing there.
Yeah.
So myself, Ray Murphy, Freddie McDonald, we're all good friends with Billy. We didn't tell Billy. We came out and we met with Bruce Donaldson. I must give kudos to Bruce for then taking it from there. We put a little presentation together, and anyway, here we are tonight. And say I'm so happy for Billy. His spirit is here, although physically he's not. He knew it was coming. Humble as he was, I know he's very proud to see this number going up.
You had a bit of a unique perspective on Billy too, Jamie, in the sense that you were a fan of his growing up as a kid. I mean, like, we had idols. I mean, you talk Forby Kennedy, Billy McMillan, Billy's brother Bobby, later on, Al McAdam, you know, guys like that. But you had a unique perspective in the sense that you watched him as a kid, you know, and idolized him as a hockey player. But then you had the opportunity later on to work with him as a colleague. That must have been a pretty neat kind of opportunity, right?
It sure was. And say, I can remember watching Billy. I must say, I was 9 years old when I first saw Billy playing with St. Dunstan's.
In the old rink.
In the old rink.
Barn.
And fast forward, now I'm 10 years, and I'm now with the Panthers. Vincey Mulligan's our coach. And he doesn't tell us, practice tomorrow, 4 o'clock, so we arrive in the rink. and I walk into the rink, and who's there sitting? Billy McMillan with all his gear on. Billy is recuperating from back surgery, getting ready to head back to the Islanders, and I'm awestruck. I can't say a word to my idol, but I can tell you I followed every move on the ice when we practiced, and I just couldn't believe this guy's coming off surgery, Norm, powerful skate, and what a backhand shot. Yeah. And I remember his stick, planed at the heel, and I said to Billy probably 10 years later when I finally worked with him, got to talk to him, became really close, told him at that time, and the stick, and he just smiled and he says, yeah, you're right, I did shave the stick. I did shave the stick. Yeah, tremendous guy.
Humble too.
I say, if unless you raised it or you knew about the man, you would never know about the accomplishments this man did in his hockey career. Yeah. But beyond that, he's just a tremendous human being.
In a lot of that ways, but you know, when you start to think about it, like it's kind of almost heroic in terms of what he did, right? In terms of the coming back and being part of the St. Dunstan's program. And when you think of it in a small town, we kind of define heroism maybe in a different way, but Billy would certainly fall into that category. You know, you think of people our age. I never had the pleasure of seeing Billy to the same extent as you did. But I watched him, and I remember being so, you know, you held him up in that lofty status that he would have had in the icons of Prince Edward Island hockey. But he really was, for a lot of us, a hero.
There's no question. I know, obviously, beside myself, obviously his brother, Bobby, his brother I'm close with. Obviously, Bobby idolized Billy. My teammate with the Panthers, Dougie McLean, who became a coach and exec in the National Hockey League. Dougie was a big fan of Billy's as well. And say beyond St. Dunstan's, when he played with the national team, I remember following the national team so closely with Father Bauer, and there again, Billy stood out. He scored the winning goal for Canada to ensure that they got a bronze medal in 66. 67, he scored the tying goal, ensure the Canadians got a bronze. And then in 67, at the Centennial Tournament in Winnipeg, in the championship game against the Russians, Billy scored the winning goal, and Canada won that tournament. So he then on to the National Hockey League, his coaching career starting in the minors, Central League, winning the championship up to the Islanders for the Stanley Cup, and then coming back home, culminating with the title with the Panthers. Just a tremendous hockey man. You
think about what he did, you know, at that time you would have had guys like Shane Turner down in Indianapolis, you would have Garth McGuigan down in Indianapolis, Kevin Devine, all Islanders there. Dave Cameron goes down. Dave Cameron starts at the time when the NHL, when the Islanders were in their dynasty. You had all those guys that are coming in. So Billy never really forgot about Islanders and really made a path for them.
Absolutely.
And I'm thinking of another guy in terms of influence, and he's here tonight, and it's John Nelson, of course, who's one of the all-time, certainly the most colorful Island Panther ever to play, but definitely one of the better players that we've ever had. I think he's 4th or 5th in scoring. You know, everyone has a Nelly story. We loved him for a variety of reasons, but Nelly flew home from Windsor for tonight to be part of this. I think that really speaks to the kind of influence that Billy had on players, not only in developing them as hockey players, but also as people.
And I think part of that, not only does it go to Billy's upbringing here in PEI, I think it goes partly too to his, when he went to St. Mike's and being coached by Father Bauer. Father and Bauer was not just hockey, it was instilling the goodness in man, the kindness in people, and that reverberated through Billy throughout the rest of his life. And John Nelson is a great example. Billy loved John Nelson. And you're right, Norm. Nelly was a great hockey player, but you watch him out in the ice, and some nights you just say, "What are you doing, Nelly?" But
and then he scored the winning goal. Then he
scored the goal and set it up, right? But there was such a great admiration between John Nelson and Billy, and I must say, with all the players that Billy coached, I've heard from a number of them. Shelley was another one, Dave Shellington. just speak volumes of Billy. And it wasn't just about the hockey. It was about the off ice and the things of life that make you a good person and be respectful of each other. It's just reverberated, and they couldn't have had a better coach or a mentor, be it hockey or in life in general.
Well, when you see his brother Bobby winning the Lady Byng Trophy as the NHL's most sportsmanlike player, you obviously know that his impact was far-reaching in terms of setting a standard for people around here.
Yep.
And Squid, I guess I really want to thank you for taking the charge and taking the lead on this. I think, in my opinion, it was long overdue. I think you were right saying there was a spot missing. It's now filled. You can come to the games from here on in and know that you're going to be looking up at your good buddy, and you'll be thinking of him fondly. Because we're starting to lose some of our icons, right? We lost Gordy Whitlock, we lost Jack Kane, now we lost Billy, right? Some of them are going. I think it's time, it's great that people like you are taking that initiative to make sure that we never forget about the role that they played in St. Dunstan's and UPI hockey over the years.
Thank you very much, Norman.
Thanks, bud. Thanks for coming on.
My pleasure.